I have no idea. I have no idea what happened there. Something happened there. I guess gonna have to wait for people to come back. That was very weird. We had like a flash of lost electricity. Very weird. Guess it's really windy outside. Who knows? And we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Don't know what happened there. There was I don't know if like we had like one of those, like a power surge happened everywhere. And for some reason it didn't kill the computer, but it like killed the internet for a second. Yeah, I have no idea. Someone asked a super chat and now it's lost. Could you repost it again? I'm so sorry. Just post the super chat again. Like don't do it as a pay super chat. Just like post it again because I lost it. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know what happened there. That's very weird. Very, very weird. Yeah, the higher ups. Hasbro's not too happy with everything I'm doing. He's saying too much. Take him out, boys. Take him out. But what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So in relation to essentially what happened, with Transformers Prime and it got pushed and everything. I mean, again, I think we're going to see, we'll see more. We will see more in the future. I just feel that it's animated. That's the one that's kind of going to get the kick in a lot of ways. Kremzik attached to my computer. FBI open up. Yeah. It's like, yeah. He found out about my Kiss Play figures. It's like, oh damn. He knows about the Kiss Play. It's funny, actually, my Gyro Zetter figures are actually more risky than the Kiss Play stuff. Where are we at? Man, I lost track of everything. There was a super chat that someone asked. I wish someone would repost it. What was the super chat question? Who was it that did it? I saw there was another one, too. And I don't want them to post it again and pay for it. Oh, man. Anyone remember who did it? That's too bad. I really want to answer that one. I'm buying Super 7 TF Ultimates instead of TF. Yeah, I think those Super 7 stuff is amazing. It's a little pricey, but I really like how they look. And the choice of characters are so bizarre that it speaks to me. It speaks to me well. Derek J. Wyatt's at my door. Derek is welcome to come over. Me and Derek have had dinner quite a many a time. Me and Derek are down, yo. He's a good buddy. Where are we at? Alex says here, the red toy line also already lost me with the lack of scale. You know what? Like, what kills me with that is they really should have implicated a Beast Wars... Excuse me, not a Beast Wars, a Build-A-Figure idea. They really should have done that. Like, the way that I see it is, right out of the gate, they should have had 6 figures, 6 Constructicon parts, Build-A-Figure Devastator. They should have done that because they find so much success already, Hasbro, when they do that with the Hasbro Marvel Legends line. I don't know why they didn't do that here. Maybe because they felt the budget wouldn't work out to put the extra piece of Devastator, which wouldn't even have articulation. It would just be like a piece that you could plug in. But, man, like, they really missed the boat. I think if they would have done that, I think people would have been more receptive to it. And then you'd have a big Build-A-Figure Devastator. People would have really dug that. I don't know. I think that, when you start a line, you really got to get people's attention with that initial wave. And I feel that if you don't do that, yeah, you're going to have your audience that buys anything, and they will buy anything, but then you're also going to lose a big chunk of it. And that's a big portion of it. You can't just like lose people. Oh, RAD isn't for me, because I feel that way. I didn't buy anything thus far, and you're talking to a guy who was like a completist for years. So they really lost. Trevor, yeah, there we go. Trevor with the super chat was, what kind of sales or ratings would it take to convince Hasbro to continue Cyberverse media beyond the 2 upcoming films? Trevor, man, you're preaching to the choir. I felt for years, like since Cyberverse came out, that Hasbro has just been ignoring it. I really do. I feel that, like, number one, I have a belief that, number one, I think Cyberverse was made more for the Asian market. I feel like it was made more for China and stuff because you have a lot of stuff that's more cheaply made. And if you know how the Chinese market is when it comes to toy collecting as opposed to the Western market and the Japanese market, a lot of them, when it comes to kids' toys, are bought, played with, and then thrown out. And that's why they're made more cheaper and less durable and, you know, not a lot of paint deco, because it's not made for a collector. So Cyberverse toys really are in that vein. Same thing with the Bumblebee movie toys. Not the Studio Series Bumblebee movie toy line. Buzzworthy Bumblebee, that kind of stuff seems to be more for the Chinese market. And then Cyberverse had this spin-off series called Transformers Neza, which is based in the Cyberverse continuity. They did 52 episodes. We never saw any of it. They made exclusive toys, a 3-pack, a Lego set, and then a large, like, I guess, gimmicky Voyager scale one. We never saw any of that. None of that was imported here, just made for the Chinese market. And then, of course, the Big V happened. That complicated things even more. And now we don't know. Cyberverse is such a weird animal. I think those 2 movies are just going to come out. People are going to watch them, even if they do well or they don't do well. Even if they're like number 1 trending on Netflix, because that's supposedly how they're going to debut. Even if that happens, I firmly believe that after that happens, they're just going to move on to whatever the next thing is. I think Cyberverse is, unfortunately, if it does have legs, it's still going to be mostly a Chinese market kind of product. That's how I feel. That's just my take, but it really is the vibe that I feel. That's why it gets ignored here in the West, but I think it's more focused on it in the Asian market. That's what I think. And when I say the Asian market, I'm not counting Japan. I'm not. And it sucks because I really like Cyberverse. Soundboard with the super chat wants to know, why do you think Hasbro is ignoring Wingblade now? No. Let me tell you something. Hasbro, in my opinion, Wingblade is slowly becoming the Wonder Woman of that trio. Like, you know, DC has Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. You know, so, and it's the same way. I see, like, for Transformers, it's Optimus Prime, it's Bumblebee, and it's Windblade. Yeah, you see RC once in a while, you see Elita 1, but I think that RC and Elita 1, the reason why we're just seeing that in the in the War for Cybertron trilogy stuff, is because it's more G1 based. But I'm pretty sure we're going to see more Windblade in the future. She really is very popular. She is. A lot of merchandise gets made of her. There's statues of her, model kits coming, tons of figures. She's popular. I love her. Sometimes I try to think who is my favorite female Transformer character, and I have difficulty making a decision because Windblade is really cool. I love Minerva. RC has her moments. It's really tough. Strong Arm was really cool. Like, there's a lot of really cool female characters, so it's a real tough one for me to decide. And Windblade, she's awesome, man. She's awesome. And she was great in Cyberverse. She was kind of downplayed later on in the later seasons, but she's still pretty cool, in my opinion. Michael Koo with the super chat says, traditional-minded Asian parents believe that kids stop playing with toys after a certain age. Asian parents will throw out toys. Thank you, Michael. And Michael would know. No, but I was told because I used to deal with the guys who do bootlegs in China, and he used to always say, the thing is that the reason why Chinese bootlegs, here's a good example, actually. Here's my bootleg Ravage here. It's an oversized red Ravage. You know, like, the bootlegs, the reason why they're so cheap and simple is because the concept is that kids buy toys, they play with them, they break them, and then they get thrown out or given away regardless if they're in good condition or not. And that applies even to the real toys. You know, it's the same thing too, where they don't care. It's a smaller window. There's not kids collecting toys. And when you factor in also an iPhone generation and stuff like that, and Hasbro looking at the market and going, you know, there's money to be made here, I can't blame their decision in a lot of ways. But I also, you know, it's a sad truth. It's one of these things when you look at the business side of it, you understand. But it sucks still. You know, still sucks still. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens in the end. I know we had another question here. Michael also says here, the QC for the Transformers RED has a very low bar. Really? That I didn't know. Like, the only one that I got to mess with, like, physically got to hold, was my friend bought the Soundwave. And he opened it up, and I thought it was pretty good. I'll be honest with you, I was like, okay. I like the Soundwave. The Optimus looked terrible. The Megatron was Megatron. Probably, it's a very vanilla kind of design. So, the Megatron was okay. The problem is so many of those are just designs that I'm so bored of at this point. After you've gotten the original toy, the Mega PVC line, the Masterpiece, all kinds of different transformable versions, then you get this and you're just like, how many times am I going to look at this Fluoro Deary G1 design over and over and over? Give me something new. Give me something new. Give me a different twist on Megatron. That's why, the Transformers Prime Megatron being in the RED line, I welcome that more, because that'll be more interesting to have a figure like super show accurate version of. I rather something like that. I really do. I really do. Where are we at here? Pedro says Brazilian parents are the same when it comes to toys. You know what? I don't think it's really a location thing. I think most parents in general, up to a certain generation, the concept of toy collecting is still foreign to them. Why would an adult still be playing with toys? Why would they do that? And I mean, I've done whole segments talking about boys collecting toys and why it's like that in the whole world. It's a whole thing. And I mean, I remember there was this great discussion. I wish I had a figure nearby to show you, but there was this great discussion about how, nowadays when you have toys that say like adult collectible on them and they're over a certain age, it leads to then the excuse to use like small intricate parts and sharp parts and dangerous parts, so you don't have to worry about safety testing because they're made for adults, so the toys could be a little more, I guess, like jagged and cool. There's a lot of there's a lot of stuff that as adult collectors like this, it's like this isn't made for us, but this is, and because that's the case, it's one of these things where, because those two exist on the shelf and they're both called Transformers, there's like this expectation that we should both want to buy both, when I understand that this is not for my age demo, but that Hot Rod is, And I think a lot of people would agree with that. A lot of people would. We got a super chat from the Collector Prime. Why do you think we don't see any more from IDW storylines in animated shows? Oh, man, I wanted to get into IDW. There was some news recently, but it just hit recently. I'll get into that afterwards. It's just to be really honest, there's a lot of people who work for Hasbro that aren't a fan of the stuff IDW does. Let's put it that way. I like what IDW did. I like some of James's stuff, not everything, but a lot of it. So there was some really good stuff that IDW put out, a lot of the Casey Collar books, a lot of the Spotlight books. But there was a lot of stuff that Hasbro didn't like. Let's put it that way. And that's why they kind of pulled the plug on that whole continuity and wanted to start over. Sales were down. And just recently, and you can look this up, IDW has been losing a lot of money recently. Their chairman, head of CEO or something, he did time in jail. There's a lot of money laundering and weird stuff going on. I don't want to get too much into it, but just look it up yourself. Look it up yourself with recent IDW news, what's been going on with them. you'll see there's a lot of weird stuff going on with that company. And Hasbro, in my opinion, has a really good relationship right now with Boom Studio, which is another comic book company. They do the Power Ranger books. And I think that Hasbro, dare I say, I'm not saying this is news, but I could see in the future Hasbro moving the Transformer brand to Boom Studio in the future. I could see that. I could really see that. That's just my take. Because I think IDW right now is, I don't know. There's some weird mojo. There's too many positions have been moved and changed. People have come and left the company. A lot of weird stuff going on. I mean, I think, you know what? The way I see it, they had a good run. They had a good run with the Transformer brand. They've had it longer than even Marvel had it. You know, so when you really think about it. So I think it's time to pass the baton in a lot of ways to the next company, and we'll see from there. But yeah, again, I don't want to get too much into it because I have friends that still work at the company and stuff, but if you do the research, you're going to see there's some stuff going on over there. Michael Koo says, late 2020 and early 2021, there was concerns with comic book fans that IDW was going to disappear. Again, look it up. There's a big financial report that was just announced today. Just today about what's going on with the company. And it's not good. It's not good. That's all I'm going to say with that. Where we at with the questions, with the super chats? Let me scroll up, see if I missed anything. Sorry again, by the way, with the whole crashing. That messed everything up. But thank you, everyone who came back. Transfan, I talked about some of the movie filming just before the beginning of the podcast. Obviously not this segment, because now I'm going to have two parts, unfortunately. Because we had a flickering of light, like I'm in a tornado or something. But yeah, I mean, look, the way I see it is, I like what IDW did in general. They did some really good books, some really, really good books. But in general, Hasbro just wasn't feeling it. And again, I think it's going to Boom. I think Boom Studio is going to be the home for Transformers in the future. It's, you know what? It's the same thing like, when Transformers and Marvel kind of went their separate way after Generation 2, and then Hasbro started working with Dark Horse Comics, because Hasbro and Kenner, a lot of their toy lines were with Dark Horse. They were doing the Alien books. They were doing the Predator books. G.I. Joe was a Dark Horse comic during that time. So there was this huge plan that maybe the Beast Wars, if there was going to have a Beast Wars comic, it was going to be with Dark Horse. And that was the rumor for years. And still to this day, never confirmed. That little mini Beast Wars comic book that came with the 2-pack was done through Dark Horse. It's never been confirmed, but that's the rumor for years, how it's been. We'd have to talk to someone during those early Kenner days that could probably confirm that. But it was supposedly done through Dark Horse, and they just never credit anybody on those things. Even the artists and everything were never credited. But it's the same thing where right now the Power Ranger book with Boom Studio is doing extremely well. Extremely well. And I'm pretty sure Hasbro is going like, hey, you're doing great with our Power Ranger brand. What could you do with the robots in disguise? And we'll see from there in the future. We will see what happens. Let's see. We got a super chat from the Stinkfist69. Stinkfist69, do you really live in California with the rolling blackouts? Just joking. No, I live in Montreal. We rarely have. It wasn't even a blackout. It was just like there was like a flicker, and we didn't lose any power, but I guess it killed my internet connection for like 5 seconds, and then that's what disconnected us, I guess. I don't know. Don't forget Star Wars. Yeah, thank you, Jerry. That's true, too. Star Wars, which also was Marvel, and then went to Dark Horse. Yeah, like Kenner and Hasbro, it's like they take their whole brands and then they move to another company. And Dark Horse was their 90s company. And then in the early 2000s, they went with Dreamwave and then IDW. You know, like obviously Devil's Due was doing the G.I. Joe stuff at one point, but we'll see what happens in the future. I really think, though, honestly, just take it from me. It's not news, but just take it from me. I think it's going to go to Boom Studio in the future. Michael Koo with the super chat. Proto Man, when the TF comic book license goes to another publisher, who owns the publishing rights after IDW's trades and everything? That's something, in all honesty, that's where it gets to a licensing thing, because IDW was licensing out the Marvel books to do the reissues, but they pay a licensing, which is like, hey, we want to reissue these old Marvel books. We're going to pay you a licensing fee, and then hopefully by reissuing those books, we'll make enough sales that it's worth it to do the licensing fee. That's why IDW stopped licensing all those Marvel books from Transformers, because it wasn't making any money anymore. They had all those UK books. Remember, they were like reprinting all the UK stories, and then they just stopped because it wasn't making the money anymore. So it's probably going to be the same thing. Like Dreamwave went under, so the licensing with that is kind of weird. I think Hasbro ended up owning the rights to the Dreamwave stuff, so they were able to reprint that through IDW with no worry. But when it comes to some of the other stuff, that's where it gets a little complicated. So we'll see what happens. If Boom gets it, they'll probably, if Boom gets it and IDW doesn't go bankrupt, they probably will have to once in a while go to IDW if they want to reprint something. They go, hey, we want to reprint, I don't know, like one of these, Blur spotlights or whatever. Could we, license that one issue? And then they pay a fee, and then they hope that they make the money back. That's usually how it works. That's with anything. And usually they have deals, like in the case of IDW. Don't use Spider-Man. Don't put Spider-Man. Stuff like that. But then again, thanks for the super chat, Michael. It's a good one. That's a really good one. Zachary just donates $1. Zachary, ask a question, brother. Don't just donate $1. Just say something. Say what your favorite Transformer is so I could repeat it or something. If you don't want to ask a question. Bailey Harpster with the super chat question. Hey, Proto, what other Transformer collaboration figures could you see happening? Or are there any that you want to happen? I am surprised that they didn't do Knight Rider, because all of the collaborations that we've been getting up to this point have always been an anniversary year. Like even the X-Men one. The X-Men one fell on the exact same year as the cartoon's anniversary. The Back to the Future one, it was an anniversary. Top Gun, it's because of the movie that was coming out that year. The second one specifically. Ghostbusters, they're all anniversary years. So I thought 2022, the anniversary of Knight Rider, you'd have Kit. He could be a Transformer. They could retool, Sideswipe again, but they could retool Sideswipe. It could be Kit. He could have the little light in the front. Kit, had the voices of Optimus Prime at one point when he was Carr, which was the evil version of Kit. So you could get Peter Cullen to do the convention tour and sign the Kits as Carr or something. There's so many different things they could have done with that. There were so many things, and they didn't. Another one, which I'm sure it'll happen sooner or later, not Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles. I'd love to see Ninja Turtles do some kind of crossover. And Power Rangers, I think it's a given. I think it's more a matter of when rather than why it's going to happen. I think it's just going to happen. It's a matter of when. They're going to find a point when it makes sense, and we're going to have some kind of Power Ranger Transformer crossover for sure. Those two brands are going to cross. And G.I. Joe at some point also. They did it with, look, there's a Transformer My Little Pony crossover. They did that Cloptimus Prime, whatever it's called there, with the weird box. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens with that. But thank you, Bailey, for the super chat. Good question. Let's see. Did Zachary ask anything? Just want to see. Zach Attack. Oh, here we go, Zachary. Do you think we will see the rest of Magnaboss because of the peg holes on the Skywarp wings? Honestly, Zachary, I was thinking that too. I didn't talk about it in the last segment, but those peg hole wings, when you think about it, when you think about what Magnaboss is and how he combines with the original Magnaboss, those peg holes on the back wouldn't really matter for anything. But if they do some kind of a unique combiner mode that isn't traditionally like how we envision Magnaboss, where again the Silverbolt or the Skywarp wraps around the Prowl or the Lio Convoy Jr., I think there maybe Maybe we'll get something. Maybe maybe Hasbro is so clever that they thought that so far ahead when they were working on AirRaiser that they're like, we're going to do Magnaboss from this at some point. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. Hasbro is notorious for that kind of stuff. So I could totally see that happening. I could totally see it happening. And I love that Skywarp release. Like, out of the two, like, everyone was excited about the Sideswipe. That Skywarp is so cool. I love that they decided to do something that obscure. I dig it a lot. Stinkfist69 says, yeah, the make five new Transformer combine turn into Megazord. Well, I talked about that. I said, like, you know, just the Dinobots with the original Megazord. That alone you could do. Like, obviously the woolly mammoth, you know, that's the odd man out. But, you know, just the Dinobots, like, you could take, like, Cheetor for the saber-toothed tiger. You could take the Dinobots for the Dino members. For the woolly mammoth, I don't know, big convoy. I mean, that's the tough one. Or if you want to, you know, make a lion, a traditional elephant out of it, and then it's Ironhide from Beast Wars. But again, there's so many different fan ideas that, like, you don't even need me to think it up. It just kind of falls into place in a lot of ways. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Action Figure Expert said, yeah, there was crossovers with G.I. Joe, but it wasn't really transformable. Like, that's the thing. It wasn't like, the closest thing we ever got to a G.I. Joe Transformer was, like, Energon Snowcat, which turned into a Snowcat. I mean, that's really the closest we ever got to that, outside of third party, of course. All the stuff that was done with SDCC was G.I. Joe vehicles that were painted up into Transformer characters. So we'll get into that in a second. Alex Trapp with the super chat says, I hope they make a good Generations Lio convoy. I wish we get a Generations Lio convoy. That would be absolutely amazing if we got a Generations Lio convoy. I liked the Masterpiece, but I felt it was still too expensive for people to buy. And the fact that they didn't include, what's her name there, Artemis, that hurt it heavily. The fact that Artemis wasn't included, that they dropped her out of it at the last second, also hurt people wanting Lio Convoy. It's a shame, because I like Lio Convoy. It's a cool design. His original toy isn't that great. His robot, you can barely see his Robot Masters one, isn't that great. But the Masterpiece is a really good figure, just ridiculously expensive, and they dropped one of the extras out of it, so that really sucks. Oh my goodness! We got a pink super chat, which is at the $50 mark, from Princeton Phalanx 59, 50 bones. Thank you, my man. I have yet to see a pink super chat. I've always gotten the traditional super chat, the gold super chat. I have never seen a pink one. Oh man, giggity on that one. I've never seen a pink one. Anyways, what do we got here? We got, hey Proto, do you think Hasbro will ever come up with a new line with all new characters, or will they always rehash the same ones over and over? I love my Generation 1 characters and I enjoy the current line, but they need new ideas. Brother, you are preaching to the choir. Every time I have Aaron Archer on this show, we both say that. But the problem is trademarks. That is like what the 2007 movie came out, and then they're like, we got to protect our trademarks until the end of time. If anything, in all honesty, what we need is sublines. I know that people hate rescue bots, or they don't like bot shots, or they don't like bot bots, or they don't like all these silly sublines. We need more of those, because what that means is we could have fresh ideas, have a main line, have all these awesome characters in the main line, brand new characters, and they don't have to worry about losing trademarks because, oh, what are we going to do with Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Jazz, Grimlock, Devastator? Put them in rescue bots. Put them in tiny turbo changers. Put them in bots. Put them in all these weird sublines, just so the trademark is safe in the meantime. Like, that's the reality. But until we really have that diversification, we're like, I look at Armada. Armada was like the last true year of, like, Armada had a character named Red Alert, but was it really Red Alert? Like, we know him? It was Red Alert in name only. The character of Hotshot Was it really like up to that point? The only hot shot was the Transformers Robots in Disguise Spy Changer, but like we had a whole bunch of these new spins on characters and names and trademarks, and when you get into even like the Japanese stuff, where it's just brand new names and characters, Nitro Convoy, Excellion, Backstop, like so many of them. Vector, obviously Vector Prime was a big one too, but Long Rack, Sonic Bomber, which is based off of the Zone character in a little bit, like Flame Convoy. A lot of those were great ideas. When even going into Energon, when you had like look at Tidal Wave in Armada, that was a brand new character. We never had a Tidal Wave character before that, so like I would love that. But it's really Hasbro with those damn trademarks. That's what keeps getting in our way, is that they constantly they want to go like, all right, here's Repugnus. When are we, okay, we're good for 4 years, but we're going to have to make another one at some point again. And some people like that. Some people don't. The argument could also be like, well, 4 years later, it's a different audience. So those audiences didn't get Repugnus because it's 4 years later and it's a new audience. So let's put out Repugnus again, so the new audience could experience Repugnus. I can understand our argument too, and it is a valid argument. But for us hardcore fans, which unfortunately we are a little bit of the minority, it's par for the course. A lot of certain figures I just don't pick up because, like, to give an example, best example of them all, Kingdom Cheetor. Did I need to own that? I have the Telemocha one. I have the Beast Wars 10th anniversary. I have practically every version of the original. I have the Masterpiece. I have the Universe 2.0. At what point am I satisfied with owning that character that I need the Kingdom one? What was the different twist and turn on that version of Cheetor that I had to own it? So that's where it gets to the point where it's like someone like me who owns so many versions of the same character, when you get the same thing over and over, that's another thing too, that you lost a sale from a guy like me because I don't really need it. But they may have lost a sale from me, but people who are coming into Transformers brand new, they're going to buy that Cheetor. And good for them. They deserve to buy that Cheetor and they deserve to own it and enjoy it. So I don't blame them. But everyone, it's hard to please everybody. That's the sad thing. So I might not be happy, but there might be like 1,000 fans that are happy, and my opinion doesn't matter because I'm one audience. It's a complicated one. It really is. It really is, Princeton. It's a real complicated one because it's a conversation that I have with creators all the time when it comes to stagnation of a brand. It's not like Ninja Turtles where it's like, oh my God, another Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael. That's the core of that brand. You can't change that. Same thing, like if you do Star Wars stories and you stay within that universe, people are going to want Vader. They're going to look at the Mandalorian and stuff. People go crazy when those old school characters show up. I don't want to spoil too much for people that didn't watch it, but it shows that like Transformers is different because we have so much diversity. We have so much characters, millions of characters, all different stories. We thrive now. I think that there was a time where we used to go crazy when G1 Optimus Prime would show up or Starscream. But I think that after being fed G1 now since 2006 with classics, year after year, the evergreen style, I think now we all want something different. I think that's what it is more than anything else. And I mean, you're feeling it and I'm feeling it. But there is still people that are... Every year there's new people that join the brand. There's people that join my Patreon and go like, hey, like I just joined your Patreon. I got into Transformers a year ago. And that means that up to this point, they were not part of the brand. They missed, so much stuff that to me and you, we took for granted because it was always there. So it's craziness. It's a long question to answer, but I hope that it kind of gives you the right idea, brother. And thanks again for the pink super chat. Pink super chat. Pink super chat. Should I screenshot that? I think I will. I'm going to screenshot that. Pink super chat. Thank you for the question, Princeton. Next up, we got the super chat from Trevor again. Did you see the new He-Man Revelations trailer? Yes, I did. What did you think of it as a competitor of legacy 80s brands? What does that tell you about the toy industry? Well, number one, He-Man as a toy brand was never really doing very well from a mainstream audience. They were surviving primarily from a collector's audience. Think about it. Think about what He-Man was as a toy line the past decade. Just the past decade. From now until 2010, and maybe even before that. It was Matty Collectibles, the Classics line, the Mega Blocks figures, Pop Vinyls. It was all collector-based kind of stuff. It never really was a big mainstream, like TV show kind of line and stuff. And no surprise, when they're going to do a He-Man brand kind of thing, they're not going for like a big mainstream on television, 35 episodes with commercials kind of thing on Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon. They're going with this. They're going with Netflix. They're going with adult audience. They're going with that kind of anime. Because it makes sense, because if you look at everyone who was buying He-Man the past 10 years, it wasn't kids. So why would they go the simple route? Transformers still has kids, still has kids. So they're going to make kids brand. They're going to make adult brand. But with He-Man, I think there was only one logical direction to go. Look, I loved the 2K3 He-Man series. I thought it was very well done. It was a good reboot. But even they admitted, Mattel, they're like, kids aren't buying the toys. We love, the adult loved the show. We love the new animation, the different take. The toys were okay. It's your take if you like the toys or not. But they knew that it was adults that were primarily buying it. Even when they did the He-Man reissue line, it was primarily adults who were buying all that stuff. So the way I see it is they did the right decision because they knew what it was. Look at just a couple of years before that. I think it was 2008 with Thundercats. They really pushed to bring back Thundercats. They made the new show, the Bandai toy line. They made a video game, and it all went in the toilet. None of it found its market. No one was buying the toys. No one was watching the show, and no one bought the video game. And when you have that Triforce and all those three collapse, now we're going to have Super 7 has to pick up the fracture pieces of it. So, and again, that's an adult collectible market, Super 7. That's what they focus on. Look, they're doing the Silverhawks stuff now. Silverhawks has been dead for 30 years. And now they're doing a Silverhawks toy line. People are excited. But it's a small adult collectible minority that is excited about it. I'm not saying it's bad. I think they look awesome. I'm tempted to get that Steelheart figure. But at the same time, it's a small market. Smaller margins. We're not talking millions of Silverhawk toys being sent to every Toys R Us, every Walmart and Target across the United States and Canada. And Toys R Us is in Canada too. We're talking one website, small market, maybe 10,000 margins of units. That's about it. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens with that, but He-Man is right where it belongs with Mattel. And Mattel is one of those brands that they've always had problems with finding that boy brand for them. They have no problem with the girl brand. They got Barbie. They're set for life. But the boy brand, that's always been a problem for them. And it continues to be a problem. But thank you for the super chat, Trevor. Went on a long rant on that one. How much time we have left? Oh my God, we only have 30 minutes left or so. Jesus. Zachary with the super chat question. Titan Sky Shadow was great foreshadowing to Overlord. Yeah, it was. Everyone who saw that Sky Shadow. Actually, didn't Overlord come first? I'm trying to remember because I know that I saw the Sky Shadow first. I was surprised that we got a Sky Shadow toy out of a leader class price point that did something like that. Not to mention that Sky Shadow figure, which is a Japanese exclusive character, never came out in the Japanese market. They didn't take that Titan Returns version and repackage it in Japan. It was only available in our market, which is very bizarre. But that's how it is sometimes. Sometimes you get really weird figures. I think even the first Sky Shadow never got released in Japan. Oh, yeah, it's true. It didn't get released in Japan, the Generations one, and instead they released Thunderwing, a character that they have no connection to because they never got the Marvel books over there. So, weird stuff. Weirder things have happened. But thank you for the super chat, Zachary. Michael Butcher just gives $5. Michael, ask a question or say something, and I will repeat it. As long as it isn't... Oh, here we go. Michael says here, when we are getting Studio Series 86 Perceptor and Blaster with Cassette Army. There's no announcement yet, but in my opinion, I think that would be the next logical route. Have Perceptor be a Voyager class or a deluxe. I could see him as a deluxe, but I think a Voyager would be better because then you could really give the good budget for it. Make him a small deluxe. It's going to be a small Voyager, but a large deluxe, but put him in a Voyager packaging. And then have Blaster be the other Voyager, and then the cassettes could be the deluxe classes. You could do like a 3-pack of cassettes as a deluxe figure. They did that with the RC twins, the RC triplets, excuse me. The RC triplets were a Studio Series deluxe of 3 figures. So you could do that with, like, I don't know, Steeljaw, one of the members of, Rewind and Eject, and, Ramhorn. Maybe you could fit all 4, because you'd be saving on a mold, because, you wouldn't have to make a new mold for Eject and Rewind. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. I would love to see it, though, man. I would love to see it. Blaster always has a special place in my heart. Always will. Michael Koo says, about He-Man, all the... I need to get a drink of water. Michael Koo says, about He-Man, all of the rights, including the toy licenses, go to Universal in 2023. Really? That's why Mattel is going bonkers right now with He-Man. I did not know that. That sucks. I guess they're planning to do a movie or something? Well, it means there'll still be more He-Man. You'll just have to license it out from them. That's weird for Mattel to get rid of their big boy brand like that. I guess they got a lot of money for it, maybe. That's really interesting. I don't really follow He-Man deeply. I have a friend, Arnaud. Shout out to Arnaud. He's like huge into He-Man. He was actually in one of the He-Man documentaries. He's a local here in Montreal. Like, he probably knows what's going on. I probably have to ask him, but I haven't seen him in forever. Used to see him at all the toy conventions. But we all know how that is right now. Where we at? Another super chat. We got a super chat from MHM, or I guess. Since they are doing Transformer Prime characters in a legacy line for Generations next year, supposedly that's the rumor, what specific characters would you want from Transformers Prime? I'd like a really good knockout figure. I'd like a really good smokescreen figure. I felt that those two never really got the best toy they could potentially get based on their designs. I don't want to say RC because, like, I feel that how much better could they do than what they already did? Who else would be really cool? Maybe some of the, like, the smaller characters getting larger versions, like, what was RC's first partner? Not Cliff Jumper, the other one. The other one there, was it not? Oh my God, not Stakeout. He was the blue one. He was a blue repaint of Cliff Jumper. Oh my God, why am I blanking on it? Someone will post it. I'm not gonna wrap my mind over it. But Super 7 Goldar looks amazing. Yes, it does. Arachnid killed Tailgate. Thank you. Jack technically. Arachnid killed Tailgate. Yeah. So Tailgate is one of these things where it's like, why don't we get a new Tailgate? You know? Why don't we get it? Well, look at all the tailgates. Too many tailgates. Everyone's tailgating. Like I would just, like, give me a new Tailgate figure. Just do Cliff Jumper and then do a nice, like, Tailgate. Like, we got a Tailgate, like, legend scale from Cliff Jumper, but do like a full size one with like a battle damaged face that's like has the scar on it or something from getting killed. Like, something like that would be cool. But that's one way to look at it. Thank you for the question. Joseph Ritter. Joseph, you like my shirt? Just for this weekend, Joseph. Just for this weekend. Gotta represent my team. They're playing tomorrow. Joseph wants to know, Hasbro gets He-Man, then Symbiote gets He-Man, and then Prophet. Well, the thing is, I guess you could do a Battle Cat plush. Maybe people would want that. Has there ever been a Battle Cat plush? I know an Orko plush would probably do well too. But a Battle Cat plush, that's true. I don't know if they've ever done that. And then what's it, Panther, which is Skeletor's? I guess that could be done. He's flocked. They were flocked Panther. He had like softness to his figure. So I never thought of that. There's money to be made there. If it's cheap enough, we could get the license cheap. And then you make some money, honey. 30 minutes left in the stream. Where we at? Where we at with the questions? Can't believe it. We got a pink super chat today. I'm telling you, man. Princeton, man, you made me learn something today. Usually I'm teaching you guys. You teach me something today. That's crazy. I almost want to, I'm going to post it in my Twitter, and I'll see if anyone else wants to answer it too. I'll post it in my Twitter, the super chat. Because that's crazy, that one. We got a super chat from Collector Prime. Back at it again with the Collector Prime, with the super chat. With all the exclusives. The Target red card took things to another level. Any indication that exclusives to providing out to be successful. Or proving to be successful, excuse me. We don't know yet. We don't have the numbers. It's the first time that we've had something like that. Technically, like the only other thing we've ever had, like remember Costco? They had the ultimate Bumblebee, but they had like a gold repaint of it. I have it actually right next to my regular one. So like you had to like have a Costco card to then buy it, but you had to go into Costco. It's just that Target isn't like Costco where you have to have a card to go into the store. So we'll see. I mean, if it sells well, then we're all in for some bad news because we're going to see more of it. It's the same thing. Everyone's like, I don't want Amazon exclusives. And then Amazon goes, oh my God, like these exclusives are selling out and being the #1 selling toys on our website. And then people going like, damn, which means there's going to be more. If it does well, they're not going to stop, you know? Supposedly, though, the rumor is that the Target exclusive are all going to be available at Toys R Us in Canada. So if you are having problems getting the T-Rex for the moment, and the rumor is Road Rage is going to be the other one. Totally unconfirmed, just what I heard, rumor. Just ask a Canadian that has access to it. The only problem is his shipping just might be kind of garbo. Might be a little garbage, but I mean, that's one way. It sucks because usually you could ask a Canadian, and then when we cross the border for conventions, we could kind of like cheaply ship it. But I mean, I don't know, like you'll have to find like, I guess like some kind of other opportunity if the red thing is too crazy. But we will see. We don't have the numbers yet. It just came out. So we'll see how, like if T-Rex ends up like shelf warming and no one bought it because of his silver lipstick, then we'll know. We'll probably won't see more of it. Tom Laney wants to know, hey Proto, met Aaron Archer at the toy show today. Oh, damn, that's true. Aaron was at, what's it called? That show there. Be cool to sit and talk toys. It would be cool to sit and talk toys and comics. Was cool to learn and draw. Also very cool. You got a drawing of Optimus Prime today. That is awesome, my friend. Here, let me pull up Aaron's card here. There's his business card, which has his little Optimus on there. And then this is the fancy one that Aaron made for me of Rodimus with the little certificate on the back. Back in the day, I always keep that over there. This is a Aaron Archer exclusive. You know, really nice of him that he did that for me. Yeah, Aaron's fucking awesome, man. Anyone who goes to the shows where we're together, we're always hanging out. So he's a cool dude. I forgot that his show was today. Toy Hio. Yeah, I remember he told me that because I was talking to him on Facebook. I forgot that was this weekend. I wonder how he did. No, he's an awesome dude. Super talented dude. Very good to pick his mind. Pick his mind is the best part. Information to take there. Very awesome dude. A lot to learn from him. We're going to have more of him in the future. Let's put it this way. Me and Aaron are planning stuff for the future. Stay tuned for that. Joseph Ritter with the super chat question. Heck with the plush. We need to make figures. Your shirt looks good though. Although you're a Coyotes fan. How is Super 7 making any money competing with Hasbro? I prefer, personally, I feel that it's the margins. I think that Super 7, what they do is, it's kind of like with G.I. Joe, the conversation that I had with G.I. Joe last week, is that they only make a small amount, and as long as that small amount sells out, they're happy. Because I see that with their Super 7 Ultimates Ninja Turtles. They put it out, And then after the pre-order's done, that's it. There's no leftover product. There's no, like, their reaction stuff might be lingering, but everything else, when it sells out, and that's it. So there's no losses. Maybe they have small margins of profit because they make small margins of figures, but to them, maybe they're fans and they're just happy to make the product and make a little profit and say that it's sold out. Who knows? I forget who the name of the guy who owns it, but he did an interview not too long ago, and he was talking about how, he is, at the end of the day, he's a hardcore fan who just loves the properties that he gets. And if that's the case, man, get Street Sharks, get Botsmaster, get King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. I want to see the obscure 90s toy lines revived next. Especially Botsmaster. That's the one I'd love to see. I think Disney owns Botsmaster right now, which is really disgusting if that's true. I've heard the rumors that Haim Saban sold the rights to Disney for that, which I hope that's not true. Disney does not deserve Botsmaster. No siree. Where's the other question I saw? I saw another question. Where is it? I saw another good one. But yeah, Joseph, Coyotes fan? Well, they're a new franchise, so I can't blame you. New franchises, they need some time to get a good draft pick and do well, as opposed to the greatest hockey team of all time. More Stanley Cups than the Yankees have won pennants. Let's put it that way. Dear Proto, how would you reboot Street Sharks? Oof. That is something that I will keep to myself because one day I might actually do it myself. Just like a few other projects that I have kind of on the back burner that I don't want to talk about really. Mummies Alive, that's another one too. Would love more Mummies Alive. Aaron Archer knew some of the people that worked on Mummies Alive. They were two separate companies, but they both knew each other. Cool stuff. Let's see. What's the weirdest Transformer figure you own? Probably something from Kiss Play. I already talked about the weird third-party booby Misha figure. That was a weird one with the squishy boobs. It's a weird figure. I don't know. Like Alpha Q. That's a weird one. Doesn't even transform. I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff. Repugnus is pretty weird. No. Easy transformation. Skeleton Warriors. That's a line that was doomed from the beginning. I love the show, but first wave, no good guy figures, only skeletons. Dead on impact. That was not a smart move by them. That was Double Dragon, the cheesy one, the one that was done by Ruby Spears Production. Got to be a dragon. Get the might of the dragon. Fight for one, the foot of the dragon. I have all of that. And Tycho did the toy line for that, which Tycho had a terrible track record of making action figures because they also did the Cadillacs and Dinosaurs toy line, which I loved. And I love Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I love short 90s toy lines, in case you didn't notice. We got a gold super chat. Gold super chat from Jordax. Jordax wants to know. Well, I like that name, Jordax. I hope that's your real name, because that's pretty badass. Transformers Earth Wars Games did a G.I. Joe crossover with... Yeah, I actually saw that, because I still play it from time to time. Soundwave and the Hiss Tank, Hound with the Vamp, Skywarp with the Night Raven, Jetfire with the Skystalker. I think that was the one that I got. I think I got another one, too. Isn't there more? There was another one also, because I got the Jetfire with the Skystalker with my random gacha, if you will. G.I. Joe has so many nice vehicles that would make good Transformers. Of course, I firmly 200%. I love the G.I. Joe brand. I always wish the best for it. It's doing well from a limited marketing kind of, that line that they have right now that everyone is crying about because of the distribution. It's good with that. The comic books, it has its audience. The IDW books, people are reading them, so they like what's going on there. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. I love Dusty. And Dusty was one of those characters that he was awesome in the cartoon, the episode The Traitor, and everything like that. And then he was awesome in the comics. In the comics he was awesome also. really badass in the comics, actually. What was it? Issue number 72? It's the one that has Cobra Commander with the power armor on it. Like his first appearance, where he was with Mainframe. Man, like Dusty is awesome. So like, I could respect and love both versions of G.I. Joe. The more army serious and the more, sci-fi crazy Cobra Commander, Cobra La stuff. I could accept both of them. That game, the War on Cobra game, I haven't played that yet. But that seems like a game I'd really like. Not enough hours in a day. Not enough hours in a day, my friends. That's the problem. That is the problem. If I was rich and I didn't have to do a 9-to-5 job and then somehow fit in the podcast to do it daily and all the things, I'd have more time playing video games. I start up an RPG, which sometimes you need to plunk sometimes 21 hours into, and it takes me a year to finish it because I'll schedule in an hour a night or 2 hours a night to finish it. I remember when I got Legend of the Zelda Link Between Worlds, it took me a month to finish it because even though that's a game you could finish in 8 hours, but it took me a month to finish it just because I just didn't have the time at first. And I loved that game as easy as it was. Tom Laney says they have a Prowl and Silverbolt on Earth Wars 2, a 3-character Magnaboss, so maybe something with Hasbro is in the works. Well, Earth Wars, when it came out, was trying to be in synergy with what was going on with the toy lines at the time. I don't know if that's really the case anymore. I mean, yeah, when Siege came out, we got, at least we got it, in Earth Wars, we got, let's say, Rung. So there was kind of that connection. But they were kind of carrying over some of the Siege stuff and some of the Earthrise stuff. There was Beasts already before Beast Wars happened with Kingdom. There was all the Beast characters. I almost wanted to make I almost wanted to restart a game and have only Beast characters in my base. I wanted to do something like that, put them inside all the little things. But c'est la vie, as we say. Axe to the Head with the super chat just says, sup. Sup. What's up, Axe to the Head? How you doing, man? Thank you for the super chat. You're always supportive. Always an Axe to the Head, which I don't have one near here. Michael Koo says the 1 hour blocks to play JRPGs. That could be, that could just be cutscenes. Yeah, if it's Fire Emblem with all its dialogue. That's why right now I'm playing, oh my God, what's it called there? See, I'm totally blanking on the name right now. I'm playing it on my Game Boy Advance. I'm really going back because I'm playing old games now that I could get cheap. Sword. Oh my God, what is it called? Sword something. Swordcraft? Yeah, it's Swordcraft something of the something. It's one where you craft swords and you're in this little town and your friend has to get the demon sword and stuff. I'm only an hour or two into the game. Someone suggested to me, they said I'd like it. I've played about an hour of it. It's hard to tell what an RPG is like in an hour in. You're still trying to get the ball rolling. But I like it thus far. It's pretty good. And also, what I'd like to is one day I'd like to get a PS5 and then play some of the more newer RPG titles. Because I'm still old technology. I don't have a PS5, but I'd like to get a PS5 and dive into some newer games. One day, when PS5 is cheaper, I'll get it. I'll get it secondary market. Someone will get rid of it on Amazon or whatever, on the cheap. There was a really good question. Where did I see? It was a good one. It was zooming by all the questions. Where is it? Proto, do you think Megs and Transformers movie will be kind of a Transformers Pixar movie? Nah, I don't think so. The way that Hasbro handles the live action movies is really catered towards the Chinese market. They're the number one viewers of the movies. They're if those Michael Bay movies and the Travis Knight movie, the Bumblebee movie, if those movies had never came out in America, they would still be considered multi-billion-dollar successes. That's how powerful that market is. So to me, it's they're not going to change the formula. It's until it stops making money. Collector Prime with the super chat question. Your Ultra Magnus podcast segment got me thinking. What are your thoughts on a Diaclone reboot toys? On the Diaclone reboot toys, I love them. I think they look amazing. And if I bought them, I'd be poor. When they did the Battle Convoy like deluxe remake, I really wanted it a lot. It looked really good. But it's like, do I need to start collecting a masterpiece budget line on the side that has no fiction or anything and to make space for it? You know, already with Action Toys with their Machine Robo, GoBot stuff and everything, like all these non-Transformer lines, I'm going to go broke. So I love it. I think it looks great. If you watch my Twitter, every time they release something new, I always talk about it because I love what they're doing. And they do those little CG shorts too to kind of give it some flavor and background story. I think it's great. I think they're amazing. I mean, some of the first professional jobs that I did with Hasbro was the Diaclone throwback stuff through Fun Publication. So I kind of have like a special place in my heart with that stuff too. King Wodoros specifically, Zap Trap, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Really good, really good, you know, figures are coming out of that reboot line. And they're just so expensive. Like they're hundreds of dollars. And all those little minifigs, and you could build this giant world. It's something that speaks to me because I love that kind of stuff. Like Cyberverse, like the Dark of the Moon Cyberverse line, where it was like all play sets and everything. I love that stuff. I love that. That's why when they did Earthrise with the modulators and the Micromasters and stuff, love that stuff. Love it, love it, love it. Love it to death. Stinkfist69, just to be nosy, but what do you do for your day job? I am a BMW mechanic. I do it for a living. I wish I could show you the battle scars on me, but they're kind of hard to see on camera. Like I have but I'm a BMW mechanic. It pays okay. It pays okay. Not great, but it pays okay. But it was one job that the big V did not affect, let's put it this way. So I was very lucky with the job that I have. But maybe one day I'll retire. We'll see. We'll see. When life gives you lemons, you know, you see. We'll see what the future brings for Proto Man. It's good money now. I've been doing it since 2008, so a good chunk of time of my life. But I also have, you know, I make income in other areas too. That's a word of advice that I must give everybody. Never rely on income from just one source. Take it from me. If you work, that's fine. That's one source of income. But always try to find income from other areas because you never know what the future brings. That's always the smart way to do it. That's how I was able to afford a house. You know, find income from other sources. We have, oh my goodness, we're only 12 minutes left in the stream. Man, flew again today. It flew the stream. Holy moly. Alrighty, let's take a few. Well, you know, it's the end of the stream. It's the end of the stream. We got a nice pink super chat from Princeton. Let's take a few free questions today. I'm feeling nice. I'm feeling nice. We'll take a few. We'll take a few. We got here, hey Proto, got any Animorph Transformers? Yes, I do. Hard to see. There is my Minton box Animorph one, and they're all behind here. So you have Mickey and Donald Duck. That whole detop there is all my miscellanea crossover Transformer stuff. So I have it's a bad angle, but all of that stuff there is all Animorphs, Disney label, Mr. Potato Head crossovers, the other two detops, because it's the only thing that I could put in the center of the room are detops. I hate detops. That's the only reason why I have them. Those three detops there in the center of the room is for prototypes, battle beasts, and crossover line. And then I have statues on top of that at the top. So you have like the Matrix and everything and all kinds of weird stuff. But I love the Animorphs line. I don't have all of them. I slowly, whenever I see them cheap and complete, I buy them. But when I see them, like when they're loose and they're incomplete, I don't buy them. But I'd like to get more of them. I'm actually trying to track down some of the Animorph original novels. I'm trying to get the first printings, and there's like different ways you could tell by the spine. You could tell the different printings, but I would love to get more of the Animorph books. I've been trying to track them down, kind of like, because they're kind of connected to Transformers, so I kind of want to own them. So whenever I go out like toy hunting and stuff, I always try to see if anyone has the old books kicking around from Scholastic back in the day. How big is my Transformer room? Pretty big, actually. Probably as big as the standard living room, I would have to say. It's kind of hard. I see, back in the day when the camera wasn't on a wire, unfortunately, I was able to pull it around the room and show you guys stuff, but now we're kind of stuck here, unfortunately. What I'd like to in the future, when webcams are cheap again, because they're still expensive because of the scalping and everything with the zoom boom, I'd like to buy a second wireless webcam. That way I could do segments where I'm talking to you guys, and then I could switch between them, and then we could do different camera angles showing different parts around the room. Or alternatively, if I get a product, I could open it up on camera, but it could be like a shot that's like this, where you could have one like here and one like that. Kind of like, you know, like guys who like open trading cards. My friend Aaron, Ego Raptor, he does that. He opens like packs and stuff and everything on his streams. I'd like to have something where there's like multiple camera angles, but the budget is not there right now, let alone, you know, everything else that's going on. So I'll wait till when things are better, and then I'll get a nice webcam. This webcam that we have right now, I got it during Boxing Day, and I feel I still overpaid because of how the prices are right now. Michael Koo with the super chat. When Hasbro brings in the Japanese exclusive TF figures, does Hasbro have to acquire the U.S. trademark for that character? Well, what happens is they go, do we have a trademark that works for that character? So in the case of Black Shadow, they get the character of Black Shadow, they bring it over, right? And then they go, well, we're not going to call it Black Shadow, but we do have a trademark called Sky Shadow that we used for a Beast Wars figure, that we used for a Jetfire repaint, specifically that Jetfire repaint, the purple one there from Cybertron. So they just put Sky Shadow on it. It's like if, let me think of a good example. If Blue Bacchus ever got a reissue from the Transformer Victory Gangsta Pretender shell, if Blue Bacchus ever got a reissue and was reissued here, right, they could probably go like, I don't know, maybe we'll just call it Crossblades or Thunderwing. You know, maybe they'll have a trademark they could already use. So you'll always have stuff like that too. Sometimes they'll just reuse a trademark that they have. Is there another Transformer that has blue in the title? You know, Big Blue Convoy. But you know, they'll just do something like that. They'll try to find something that's similar, so they don't have to have another trademark that they might end up never using again. If they bring in that one obscure Japanese character, Death Cobra, like they would never use Death Cobra. Like if they made a Death Cobra figure, for people who aren't familiar, Death Cobra was supposedly a 7th member of Lio Kaiser from Transformer Victory. Ended up, oh, I don't want to spoil, but point is there was a character named Death Cobra, and it's like if they ever made a figure of him, they probably wouldn't call him Death Cobra. But you have a lot of stuff that has the Cobra name from the G.I. Joe trademarks that they could probably use there. You know, Cobra Slither. Or they'll just use Slither Fang again. You know, they'll just take the Slither Fang trademark and use it for Death Cobra. Who knows? It'll be 4 years from now. No one will remember. They'll do stuff like that. Oh man, we got 6 minutes left. Holy moly, we just flew today. Even with the screw up, we flew today. I'm going to have to do a lot of editing today, though. Because now we have the 2 segments and stuff. They're going to have to be 2 separate segments, unfortunately. But, man, yeah, we did a lot today, boys and girls. Wow. A lot. Just want to give again a shout out to Symbiote Studios. They always are awesome. Always hooking us up with the cool stuff. I'm not wearing one of their shirts today because Les Canadiens are going to win the Stanley Cup. So next week we'll have a Symbiote Studio shirt. But I got to support right now. So tomorrow they're playing. Let's hope they beat the Golden Knights. Las Vegas. Las Vegas never had a hockey team, and it's in the past 100 years. And now they're in the Stanley Cup semifinals. What a world. What a world. A combiner video. Yeah, you know what? That's the thing that sucks is I can't combine the streams together because then I lose the chat. If if I ever edit the videos, what YouTube does is it deletes all the chat, and I don't want to lose the chat. I don't want to chat like you guys when you chat. I want to preserve that forever, so that when people watch the videos years later, they'll still see the chat and all the things you guys said. So I don't want to edit the videos and put them together because then we lose everything. I know some content creators, they don't care about that, but me, it's like part of the experience is having you guys here. So I don't want to lose that. Alrighty, we're gonna take a couple more questions and then we'll call it a day. Proto, what is your favorite character from the Transformers Nintendo DS War for Cybertron games? Hot Shot, aka Hot Rod. I really like him. Although, who else was really good in that? I remember there was another character I was using that was really, really good when I was unlocking the characters. I haven't played that game in forever. The last time I played that game was just before going to BotCon 2012. I remember just before I was leaving, I was like finishing up that game, and then I haven't played it since. I know I beat it, and I unlocked all the characters, but it's been years since I played it. And that's a fun game. It's not the best DS Transformer game. I think there's better ones, but it's still pretty good. It was the first one to have a true Hot Rod character in it, so at least I dug that. Had Ultra Magnus, had a whole bunch there. Pretty much it's like if you played War for Cybertron, but you didn't get the characters from Season 3 you wanted, G1 Season 3, they were in that version. What's for dinner? Asks Andy Davis. Ugh. Andy Davis. I'm probably going to have chicken breast with broccoli. I don't know what else. I know I have broccoli that I do want to steam and chicken breast. What I'll probably at some point maybe have an ice cream sandwich for supper, for dessert, excuse me. But I know I have a nice, beautiful, tasty 2 chicken breasts that are going to be seasoned. I love my healthy eating. When you become my age, you got to eat healthy to look good. Proto, an early Father's Day to you and your dad. Thank you, Michael. And thank you, actually, Michael, for reminding me. I have a great Father's Day special that is on YouTube. If you go on YouTube, type Proto Man Father's Day special. I did a segment with my dad a couple years ago where we were talking about him and his collection for Father's Day. So if you want to check out where the madness came from, you can see my dad's toy collection. I interviewed him and all the crazy stuff. We did a 1 or 2 Transformer shout outs in it, just because you have to make that connection with my audience. But yeah, tomorrow I'm going to see my parents. So it's again my mother's birthday and Father's Day. They're together, so it's gonna be a busy. I haven't seen my parents in like probably I think a month now or so. Yeah, it's probably a month. So it's gonna be good, and to see all the animals and everything. So it'll be really cool. Love seeing my dogs, my pooches. Love my dogs and my cats, my animals. I'm a big animal dude. Princeton, once again with the super chat, says a happy Father's Day to everyone. Yep, Father's Day tomorrow. Well, yeah, technically tomorrow, right? I'm so bad with my dates. What day are we today? Yeah, it should be tomorrow. Yeah. Jesus Christ, I'm so bad. But yeah. Anyways, guys, that's it for tonight. Thanks again for everyone. Thanks again for everyone that super chatted. It was really cool. A lot of really good super chat. A lot of good conversation today, guys. A lot of really good stuff was asked today. It's like sometimes I feel like 2 hours is never enough, but then I would probably have to kill myself because we did a stream once that was like 3 hours, and I was just like, all right, what's the next question? But yeah, thanks again, guys. Once again, big shout out to my sponsor, Symbiote Studios, that hook us up with everything. Check out their new plushes. Get the Grim. Good old Grimlock back there. There he is. Look at him chilling back there. Big Grim. Everything's in reverse. Get Grimlock, get Starscream, or get the others. And of course, something's coming soon. Greenwood Evil. Dun, 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 dun. Stay tuned for that from Symbiote Studios and all the other Hasbro products from symbiotestudios.com. Symbiotestudios.com for your plush, your pins, and your robots in disguise, and some Shovel Knight stuff. Pretty cool. And of course, if you want to support the podcast, patreon.com/protoman. I'll also put it in the pinned comment in the description. Also in the pinned comment, I'm going to put in the replays of this, I'm going to put the link to the interview with Yuya and Takahashi Kuniharu. It's a really good read. I want you guys to read that. You'll learn a lot about Transformers from that interview. So I'm going to post that too in the pinned comment. Awesome stuff, guys. Again, thanks for everything. Thanks for supporting the podcast. I love what we do here every night. And as always, like I say, roll out.